This video will walk you through setting up your ALEKS account, showing you where assignments are and what you need to do to complete your assignments successfully. To get to ALEKS, you can use your link in Blackboard, or you can go to your browser URL and type in www.aleks.com. Once you get to this home page, you'll first need to access the course. If you go underneath the registered users sign-in information, you'll see a button that says New User Sign Up Now. If you have used ALEKS before, you can go ahead and log in with your current login information. If this is the first time you're using ALEKS, you'll need to sign up now. Okay. When you click the Sign Up Now, you'll be taken to a screen that will give you two options. For us, we're going to be using the K-12 higher education using ALEKS with a class. Okay, you will need to enter the course code in order to access this course. Go ahead and take a moment and write down the course code so that you will be able to access the course when you get in there. Once you've entered the course code, click Continue. Once you click Continue, you should receive a confirmation for our course DEVM 060 Summer 2012. Okay, if the information is correct, click Continue, and then you'll be asked to enter your access code. This is the code that came with your course materials. If you have not purchased your course materials, you can purchase an access code online by clicking the link there and then choosing the one you want to use. This is a 12-week course, so you need to make sure whichever access you buy at least allows for 12 weeks. Okay. If you want them longer, so there are the 18-week course codes, you will still have access to ALEKS. However, you will only have access to the course materials through the end of August, middle of August. Okay. For the ALEKS 360 versus just the ALEKS Higher Ed, the 360 also includes a copy of the ebook so that you can access the textbook while you're online. If you just buy the ALEKS Higher Ed without the 360, then you're just getting access to the course materials, so the homeworks and the assessments. Okay. Once you click on the one you want, it'll then take you to a payment screen where you can enter your information and your payment. Okay. And of course, once you enter all of that and click Confirm, it'll then take you into our course. Now, if you didn't purchase the ALEKS code online, but you already had one with your book, you should have received a card that says ALEKS Access, and there should be a 20-digit or 20-character access code. You need to enter that code exactly as it appears on the card. And then once you do that, once you've entered the access code, you'll be asked to enter your personal information. Okay. For the first piece of information, it'll ask for your first and last name and possibly a middle initial. Please make sure that this information matches exactly what is in Blackboard. I'll say that again. Please make sure that your first and last name match exactly to what is in Blackboard. If you enter a first and last name and it is different than what's in Blackboard, you will not receive your ALEKS scores. So please make sure it's the same as what's in Blackboard. Okay. You may also enter an email address. This does not have to be your UA email. Please use one that you're going to check regularly. And then your student ID should be the same as the one that is in Blackboard. Okay. Towards the bottom, there's an ALEKS user agreement. You need to read through that, accept the terms, and then you can click Continue. Okay. Once you've clicked Continue, you'll then be taken to the account creation screen. So it'll have a place for you to, it'll give you a login name, and a password, you will have the option of changing that password to something you're going to remember. Please make sure that it is something you can remember or that you write it down, as I will not have access to that password. If you lose it, you will not be able to access your account and therefore will probably miss some assignments. So make sure that you keep track of what your password is. Once you've either changed it or accepted, then it's going to ask you to download the ALEKS plugin. If you're using a campus computer, this has already been done. This is a one-time thing. It just makes sure that you can actually view all of the math symbols and the equations and the graphs that are going to be used within ALEKS. It should not take very long to do the plugin. So once you hit continue, it should be just a couple of minutes. It'll make sure that you have all up-to-date Java and Flash, and then it will install the plugin. So you'll see a little screen that looks like this if you're using Firefox. If you're using Chrome or Internet Explorer, you might see a slightly different looking box. Go ahead and allow it, and then it should run. And like I said, it shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes. Okay. Go ahead and run it, and you should see a screen that looks like this, where it's downloading and initializing the ALEKS plugins, and then you'll be asked to restart your browser. Okay, don't need to restart the entire system, just close out the browser and go back to ALEKS. When you get back to the ALEKS homepage, go ahead and enter your username and password, and it will log you into the course. Okay. Once you do that, you'll be logged into the course. Now, the very first time you log in, it will take you through a tutorial. For those of you who have used ALEKS before, you can actually skip through the tutorial. There's a little double arrow at the bottom that'll let you do that. But basically, it'll walk you through how to enter your answers step by step, how to make changes, how to enter symbols, fractions, exponents, logarithms, exponentials if you need them. Okay, I'm going to skip through that. That's just kind of the typing. It will also give you a brief tutorial on how to enter graphs, so how to draw a line. So as you can see, we select the pencil, put our dot in there, get our ruler, we can draw our line. Okay, and again, you can walk all the way through that. It'll take you through parabolas and other ones as well. Okay, once you've gone all the way through the tutorial, so whether you skipped past it or you actually go through step by step, you will be asked to take an initial assessment. Okay, this is for every student the very first time you log into this 060 course. Okay, please read the instructions here. A couple things to keep in mind. There's no partial credit, so your answer is right or wrong. Please only use the materials provided. So if you want to use some scrap paper, that's fine. There's a calculator built in, so if there's not a calculator accessible, don't use one on this. It's only going to hurt you later if you kind of do better on the assessment than you actually know. Enter only the final answer. A lot of these instructions are going to be the same as your assignments in ALEKS. You're not going to have any work to show in here. It's all just, do the work on paper and pencil, put in the answer, and then it'll tell you whether or not you're right or wrong. Please check your answers before you submit them. Okay. The initial assessment is about 30 problems. I would recommend giving yourself about an hour and a half to 2 hours to do this. It should not take you all of that time, but sometimes there's issues with computers, so give yourself plenty of time to do it. Okay. Now when you go through, you hit next, it'll start by just giving you some problems. Some of the problems you may be able to answer very quickly. Others you may have to do a little bit of more work on. Okay. The nice thing about this initial assessment is if you truly don't know something, you can click I don't know. That's okay. When you're done entering an answer, just click on next, or like I said, if you don't know, I don't know. It'll take you to the next problem. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and skip through the assessment as I'm not a student and I don't want this to take terribly long for this introduction. Okay, so once you've completed your assessment, you're going to see a page that looks like this. You'll get a nice little pie chart. It'll be broken up into 7 pieces. There are 290 topics in this course, and the darkened areas on your pie chart tell you which areas you've already mastered. Okay? It'll take you on a little bit of a tutorial on how to read your pie chart. So as you can see, when we click continue, it talks about the light and the dark part. The light part is what you don't know, the dark is what you do. Okay? And if you click on any of the pie chart pieces, you'll see some things underneath of it. Okay, so for example, if I click on the real numbers and variables, you see integers and rational numbers, and then variables, and then there's some topics underneath each of those. These are the topics that you're going to have to learn in order to complete your pie chart. Okay, now each of your assignments within ALEKS basically relate to your pie chart. So as you saw there, once I click on a topic, it's going to take me to some problems. Some of these problems you may already know. So obviously 30 problems in the initial assessment is not going to cover all 290 topics. So there may be some material in here that you already understand. If you know how to do the problem, go ahead and enter the answer and work on. If you're not sure of what to do, then you can click on explain. Okay, it'll take you to a little tutorial about what they're looking for within the problem. It'll give you a chance to practice it. Up in the top, you'll see some terminology for the section. And also under additional resources, what you'll notice is there are some videos, there's supplemental resources, and you can also link into the ebook. Okay. Now, ideally, while you're working through your assignments in Blackboard, you've already done your reading and you've already tried some of the practice problems. This is when you should start your ALEKS assignment. Okay. When you click on practice, every time you practice a problem, so for example in this case 10.2 increased by twice the number. Okay, so we'll put in 10.2. We're going to increase it by twice my number. Okay, make sure your variables match up. So make sure if you've got your caps on, you get rid of them, things like that. Once you've entered, click next. Okay, you'll see in there, it'll tell you right away whether you got it right or wrong. If you got it correct, you'll need to practice it 2 more times. So basically you need to get it correct 3 times in a row before it gets added to your pie. If you got it wrong, so for example, let's say I look at this next one and I put in something like that, you'll see up at the top, your answer is incorrect. Please try to answer again. And it'll tell you, it'll give you some links there so that you can see, either go back to the ebook or go back and get some more explanation to figure out where you went wrong. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to the pie chart for just a second because you're going to see something a little different when I go back in there. So as you log in throughout the summer, this is what you're going to see when you go to your pie chart. Okay, now you notice this looks a little different from right after the assessment. Now I still have my light and my dark spots, but now I've also got these little dotted lines on here. Okay, throughout the summer you have 9 objectives that you're going to have to complete. These are your ALEKS lessons. If you notice at the bottom of your pie chart, it says the dotted line represents your current objective. In this case, AL1. It gives you the due date, so May 31st, 2012, and it tells you how many days you have left to complete that, as well as how many topics you have left to master. So in this case, I have 16 days to complete those 62 remaining topics. Okay. If a section doesn't have a dotted line on it, it just means there are currently no topics in that section of the pie that you have to complete. Okay, for the ones with the dotted lines, you can hover over them, and just like before, you'll see the specific topics that you're going to need to work on. Again, you can just go down there and click on the topic to be taken to that section. Okay, now within the objectives, there is no particular order that you have to work these. I would say if you have a section you like better than others, so for example, in this case, maybe I don't like linear equations and inequalities, but I love arithmetic. Let me start there, get that out of the way, then work on those harder sections. Okay? Keep track of when your ALEKS objectives are due. They're always on there. And if you complete one ahead of time, it'll automatically move you to the next objective. So again, keep track of which objective you're working on. Use your Blackboard calendar as well as your ALEKS calendar to do that. Okay. Now again, I'm going to take just a second and show you the ALEKS calendar. Not as much information as you would see in the Blackboard calendar, but a couple of nice features. If I'm looking in here, you'll see here at AL1, it'll show you when each objective is available to you, meaning the start date and the end date and how long you have to complete it. Okay, if I click on there, it'll highlight the weeks or the time that you have to complete it. Okay, you can do this for any of the objectives in the course. So for example, if I want to know when AL4 is going to be available, I can click on either the assignment beginning or the assignment due date, and it'll highlight that entire week that I'm going to have to complete it. Okay. This is very useful for planning out the summer. You can use this along with the schedule that's posted in Blackboard and the calendar that's posted in Blackboard to kind of organize when you're going to do things. Please do not wait till the last minute to do your ALEKS assignments. All of your ALEKS assignments are due by midnight on the due date. So for example, if I'm looking at AL4, it's due on June 27th. That means before midnight on the 27th, I need to get this completed. Otherwise, it'll give me the grade based on what I've completed at that time. Okay? Your ALEKS assignments cannot be made up. These are completely automated. So once the due date's passed, you can't go back and redo that assignment. However, every topic in the pie chart will eventually be completed by the end of the course. So even if you only get, a 75 for AL4, you can still do the topics for AL4 in later assignments. It'll just approve those later grades. It won't go back and change any of the previous ones. Okay. So there's your pie and your calendar buttons. The other buttons that you're going to often use on here, one is the ebook. And again, this basically just takes you to a link of the book. You can go through it by chapter or by the media. So if you're just looking for clips, it'll lay them out based on topic. It's also broken down by chapter and section. Okay. Or you can look for particular images. Okay. Probably the most useful ones to you would be the reading and the media. But that's there if you need it. Nice to have the ebook if you don't want to lug your textbook around, or if you just bought the ALEKS and the ebook and didn't buy the textbook, that's there as well for you. Okay. The review is another option that you might have on here that you want to use. This is really good for right before an exam. You can go in here, you can look by objective. So for example, AL1 and AL2 are the objectives that you're going to be completing before exam 1. So you can look and see what topics are in there. If there's any particular topic you had trouble with, for example, fraction multiplication, maybe you had some difficulty there, you can click on that topic and go to a little tutorial and some practice problems. Okay. The other way you can use the review is using the ALEKS view. So that was the objective view. The ALEKS view basically breaks it up by topic. So the major sections, whole numbers, fractions, decimals, percents, etc. And then within there, the list of topics. Okay. The last thing that's going to be kind of important for you is the gradebook. Okay, one of the questions I always get from students is when they go into Blackboard, they see this number in there and they're not sure why that number is different than what they were expecting. Okay, Like I said, everything in ALEKS is automated. So once you start completing your pie chart, it automatically calculates your grade for that particular objective. Once the due date is passed, it'll come in here and put your score into the ALEKS gradebook. Okay, the score you're looking at here, so for example, on May 31st of 2012, once it hits midnight, what it'll do is it'll calculate what percent of the ALEKS Lesson 1 objective you've completed, and it'll give you a percentage based on that. Okay, if you completed the whole thing, you're going to get 100 in there. If you only completed half of it, you'll see a 50 in there. Okay, and it's based on the number of topics within that section. Okay, those scores will always be updated in there. The other nice thing about the gradebook is it tells you exactly when each of the assignments are due. So if you, for some reason, can't view your calendar or you forget about it in Blackboard, when you come in here, if you look in your gradebook, it tells you right there what the objective is and when it's due. Okay. All right. Okay, that is pretty much your ALEKS. Like I said, the only thing you're going to be asked to do in here is to complete your pie chart. Again, you can use this for review, but for the most part, that's pretty much what you're going to be expected to do within ALEKS. Okay. If you have other questions, feel free to email me. But at this point, you should be able to get into your course and go ahead and get started on the assignments. Again, for that initial assessment, make sure you take about an hour and a half to 2 hours just so that you have enough time to complete it. And make sure you have paper and pencil handy.